Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How are we? I want to take a moment and appreciate all the women in the house. Happy International Women's Day. It was yesterday, but we are here today. We celebrate you. We see you. We love you. And we appreciate you. Power Monday. We set the week in motion. We demystify the fact that Monday are boring days. And
is your network okay? I think she dropped. Seems like her network is not very stable. So just to say that Monday, Power Monday has been here from 2020. We meet every Monday, and I welcome all of you. We share different topics. We learn together, we grow together, we network, and we even have physical meetups, meet and greet. And there is one just coming later this month, at the last Saturday of this month, which is 28th, and let's subscribe. It adds a lot of flavor, a lot of good to you in your network. Remember, we say talking to people equals building your business. Yes, it's good to know people, to meet people, to interact with people. And so we welcome you to join these meetups. The next one will be in July, and then the last one for the year is on Friday the 30th, which will be a dinner at Sarova Pan-Afric. So ensure you subscribe, and more details are going to be given also in the WhatsApp group. Yes, Dr. Sita, you're back. You can do the poem if it exists.
I am back. Sorry for network interruption. I don't know what happened. I want to do something small on the woman that I know, because it's March is usually Women's Day, and yesterday was International Women's Day. I was saying that we celebrate you, we see you, we honor you. So to the woman that I know, to the one that I know, your essence is a quiet strength, a light that gently fills the room and occupies every space. To the woman that I know, I see you. To the woman that I know that you're beautiful, and I know that you're beautiful, not only in appearance, but in the kindness that you carry, because you truly are beautiful. I see you. To the woman that I know, you are brave, you stand firm through the storms, even though the winds are strong. I know you are stronger than it takes. To the woman that I know, I see you. I appreciate you. To the woman that I know, you are patient. You wait with grace and patience and hope. You trust what time brings and clarity as it comes by. I see you. The woman that I know, I honor you. To the woman that I know, you are resilient. You rise again and again and again. I know you're stronger than yesterday. To the woman that I know, I see you. I honor you. To the woman that I know, you are determined. You walk your path with purpose. You don't deviate to things that do not create purpose. You refuse to surrender your dreams. To the woman that I know, I cherish you. The one that I know, your heart holds compassion, warmth, comforts others. Even when you're tired, you keep others warm. To the woman that I know, I see you. To the woman that I know, your voice carries wisdom, soft yet powerful. You guide others who listen, and those who don't listen, you're still there. I see you. To the woman that I know, your spirit inspires. It is very warm, courageous, strong. Within it keeps us going, and your presence is that we can't dim. To the woman that I know, I never doubt your worth. I love you. We honor you. To the woman that we know, we love you. We cherish you. We see you. We celebrate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lucita. Happy International Women's Day to every woman in this platform. We celebrate you, we cherish you. Women make things move. Not that men don't, but women make things move. So happy International Women's Day. I call upon Mercy, who is going to introduce the guest speaker of the day. Mercy, where are you? Mercy?
Don't worry, she is unmuted.
But I was not
Okay.
able to. Good morning, Power Monday. Happy International Women's Day. I am honored to introduce an amazing woman today, and I'll dive right in. Our speaker of the day is none other than Lucy Munga. Excuse me. Lucy is not is a member of this group. I know she's been here before. She's interacted with us. She's a visionary business leader whose purpose is to empower entrepreneurs across Africa to build thriving, impactful enterprises. As the CEO and Chief Strategy Officer of Amara Capital Limited, she brings over 3 decades of experience in IT consulting, leadership development, and business startup coaching. She holds a master's degree in business administration and is both an associate certified coach with the International Coach Federation and an accredited Start and Improve Your Business trainer by the International Labour Organization. Qualification that strengthen her ability to equip entrepreneurs and leaders with practical, globally recognized business growth skills. Lucy is a published author of 3 transformative books, one of them From Employment to a Side Hustle to a Business Empire. Book 2 is Purpose to Profit, and finally, Money Made Simple. Lucy empowers individuals to build wealth with purpose and turn ideas into sustainable enterprises. Her outstanding contribution to leadership and enterprise development has earned her recognition as the Best Leadership and Coaching Brand 2025 by the NABLA Awards. She was also honored for contributing as the lead in overall delivery of the impactful Rotary Inter-District Leadership Summit 2025. Wow. The event was attended by delegates from over 10 countries across Africa, Asia, and Europe. So ideally, in Power Monday, we deal with international figures. So karibu sana, Lucy. We are glad to have you on board, and we are expectant. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mercy, and everyone else who's joined today. It's a wonderful morning, although yes, we have had those challenges the last few days. And thank you so much for that poem. I feel so honored to be that wonderful woman, recognized, seen, heard. This is a beautiful forum, and I'm happy to be back once again to speak about some of those important topics that I love, that are close to my heart. And I'm sure for me to be invited a second, third time, it must be that we are sharing great ideas that we can implement. And for sure, yes, I'm a partially active member of this forum, but I'll be a very active member going forward. Paul, yes, I promise you that I'll be active, more active than I am, because I believe this forum is beautiful, and it's vibrant, it's warm, and what I get from it, definitely I gain a lot from it. So without further ado, I would want to just kick off our topic for today, and I want to display on screen. I hope I have them. Yeah, I can display. So I just have a few slides, but I just want us to go through them because most of us are entrepreneurs, while others are employed. But I usually say that it doesn't matter whether you're employed, it doesn't matter whether you're self-employed or whether you're employed in an organization, we are all entrepreneurs, and it's an entrepreneurial mindset that we need to have, because that one stream of income, whether it comes from your employer or it comes from yourself as a self-employed, or it comes from you and your small team if you're an SME, your mindset needs to be entrepreneurial, meaning that because of the changes that happen in life, changes that are actually happening, as we can see, politically, globally, you have to keep shifting a mindset to adapt, to be able to build our, ourselves, and build our families and our businesses and thrive irrespective of what's happening. So today we have 4 pillars that we're going to look at, and that's mindset, consistency, business building, and legacy. There are just a few slides. I know these are huge words, but I know we can just cover in just a few minutes, 30 to 40 minutes, where you can leave from here with actually a practical blueprint that you can use. If you haven't done your strategy for this year, business strategy, or even a personal strategy, I'm sure you'll come out with it. And maybe the first question I have, if you have a written strategy, whether it's personal, whether it's business, you can give me a thumbs up. Just a thumbs up. If you have a written strategy, any strategy, whether it's personal, business. Okay, that response tells me there is none. So then there is something to discuss today. But before we talk about how to build wealth, let's talk about what the world we are building in it and what it has to offer. And we have some numbers here. I just want to go through them about the entrepreneurial landscape in Africa. And specifically, we are going to look at Kenya, and this will lay the foundation for our conversation today. So this particular slide answers the question, am I the only one struggling, or is this tough terrain difficult for all of us? What we see from here is that we have 44 million and above of SMEs in Africa that employ, meaning that 80% of employees that we have are actually employed by us. So if you have one employee, remember you're contributing a lot in Africa. And also we have in Kenya, 7.4% of the GDP is contributed by SMEs. And that is by the World Bank report of 2024, as you can see there. This figure is growing, and what it tells us is that there is still room. And yes, we are still growing. There's still room for more strategic, wealth-generating businesses, and the tide is rising. The other number I want us to pause a little as we look at it is that 60% of African startups fail in the first 3 years. So you can imagine, for every 10 businesses started within 3 years, 6 of them will have failed. It's a sad story. It's not a statistic to scare you, it is a statistic to prepare you, because if your business has survived more than 3 years, that means you're actually doing pretty well. Whatever you're doing is good. So let's not beat up ourselves when things don't work, when in 1 month we don't make a profit, or in 1 month we don't get a customer. If you have survived more than 3 years, you're doing something good. Yeah? And maybe what you just need is to either pivot a little or do something, but we'll talk about it shortly. Then in Africa, what we are told by this report, that is a Partech Africa report, which I can share with you. I have the entire report. Hope I'm ready to share later. We have more than 5 billion venture capital funding in Africa that is coming to Africa. I mean, this is just a year-old report. So that means there's money to fund our businesses. But the question is, how do you get this funding? Yeah. But anyway, that we'll see whether we can cover that, because it's a deep conversation on that. Now, if you look at the lower side of that particular slide, We have 7.4 million registered MSMEs in Kenya. So these are insights around Kenya only, specific. Only 7.4 registered SMEs. And do we have the infrastructure that actually we need to build? The other thing we are looking at here is that digital economy growing at 80% year on year, and technology is your ally and not your enemy. And this creates opportunity for any business that embraces digital tools. And the third one is very nice for Kenyans, because we are saying mobile money penetration in Kenya is 83%, and there's no other country in the world that matches this. So we must pat ourselves on the back. There's something we are doing good, and this is an opportunity for entrepreneurs to leverage on the technology that we have to be able to scale up, grow, and everything else. Because I usually say, if you have a smartphone, then you have a company, you have a running organization, and that smartphone should be able to pay itself 10 times, 100 times. It's not just for scrolling and commenting on, those political things and whatever else. It's actually a company you're holding in your hand. The other statistic we can look at on this particular slide is a wealth gap, that top 10% own 75% of East African wealth. And, this is not about envy, it's about understanding the gap that we are trying to close as entrepreneurs, right? So what strategies then do we need to close this particular gap? So just look at those statistics, and if you have a pen and paper, you can just write down some notes as we go along, because we'll still refer to them. Now, before we start this particular slide, I want to understand on this particular slide, what causes this 60% failure? We talked about that 6 out of 10 businesses that start in Africa, they fail within the first 3 years. So what are these walls that entrepreneurs are hitting? What is it? I mean, it's too much, right? If it was 1 out of 10 that was failing, then we'd be saying we're in a good space. But on this particular slide, we have some 7 common and most dangerous challenges that affect entrepreneurs. So let's look at them. The first one is the mindset block, right? You can see that particular one, the mindset block, and I think this is the major one. As a business, as a business owner, as a business strategist, as a startup coach, I do see this a lot, because 70% of entrepreneurs never move past the startup phase. We'll look shortly at those phases, and not because the idea is bad, but because the market isn't there. That is one thing. Perhaps you have a very good idea, it looks very classy and everything, but do your customers have the buying power? That's the question we're asking. So, but when it comes to the mindset block, what are the internal wars that you're fighting in your own mindset? Yeah, some people are fighting fear of failure or imposter syndrome. In fact, I remember, a while back, one of my clients saying, if I go out there and I say that I can do XYZ, how will people believe me? So she's already starting to doubt herself. So, and then sometimes I see people saying, if I charge this much, isn't that too high? Or who am I to even charge this particular price, right? That scarcity mindset is the one that is keeping people small. I keep saying you can buy a cup of tea in a kiosk for 30 Kenya shillings, and you can buy the same at 500 Kenya shillings at Kempiski or even more. It's still a cup of tea. And there are still clients that are purchasing that cup of tea. So the biggest challenge that we're having as entrepreneurs or as business owners is our mindset. You must position yourself where you belong or where you believe you belong. And you must sell that cup of tea at the price you believe that your customers or your target ideal client will purchase. You are not targeting 100% of the 60 million Kenyans. You are targeting maybe 1,000 only. Can you imagine if 1,000 people paid you 1,000 bob? You already have 1 million shillings. What if 1,000 people paid you 10,000 shillings, right, for what you have. That's already 10 million. So why do you need to target 60 million Kenyans or 60 million in all over the world? You only need 1,000 of them. And think through, how do these 1,000 people look like? What is their purchasing power? And what's the value I'm offering, and how much should I charge for it? Always have that 1,000 number in your mind and plug a figure onto it and see whether you can get that revenue per month out of those 1,000 people. And then pursue that 1,000 people. And those 1,000 people must be having the same characteristics. Maybe they're of a certain education level, they live in a certain whatever, if it's town, they are of a certain class, if it's only women, if it's only men, or if it's a combination of both, they have a certain kind of mindset. So that particular demographic is what you need to put down and describe those 1,000 people and pursue those 1,000 people with value, because they will not just buy. So this mindset is actually almost 80% of the people I've met. 80% of what is blocking us from making money, it's because we doubt ourselves too much. We are fearing failure. We fear what people will say about us. We fear, I don't know, let's get out of that cocoon and just say anything. And in fact, I was reading a book somewhere and it was saying, why is it that those people who even didn't perform well in school seem to be so successful? It's because they're so audacious. They just go out there and speak up their mind and say, this is what I'm selling, and I'm selling for this much. Take it or leave it. And more often than not, they end up, being very successful. But why is it that you, who has all these papers, who has all these accolades, who has all this stuff, you can't just go out there and say something, you're shying away? People will not buy without actually understanding what you have. So that fear, that mindset block we need to get rid of it. And I keep saying, to get rid of it is to start doing what you fear doing, because that is where the magic is. That is where you're leaving the money on the table, because you're leaving all that money on the table because you fear asking for it. The other day I was speaking to Hope TV and I said, some of us are actually so nice. We are in church, we are in our community. Actually, we even spend 60%, 70% of our time giving back to our community, giving back to our, to our church, to our friends, to our whatever. Please just package some of those skills that you have and charge for them. And don't be shy to do that. In fact, you'll find some people asking you, I've been waiting for you to ask for money, but you've not been asking, you've just been sharing, right? So I'm not saying you package everything to charge, but I'm just saying you have to sit down and write down, this I'll be giving for free, but this, it's so special to me because I'm always called to do it, I want to charge it. So let's not block ourselves by that fear. Number 2 is a cash flow crisis. So I've sat across a number of, on some tables with a number of brilliant entrepreneurs who are earning quite good money, right? But they could not pay their suppliers because of the cash flow. They don't know how to manage their money, right? Everything stops by, if you don't have cash in your hands. You may have a very good business, products are moving, but if there is no money in your hands, sometimes you get stuck somewhere because you cannot even supply whatever you're supplying to your customers. 67% of SMEs failures are cash flow related, and they are not market related, and the customers are there and the money just is not properly managed. And if you don't know how to manage money and you feel that you're cash trapped, but you have customers, then perhaps you may need to look for a coach just to break down where the bottlenecks are. Where is the money so scarce, yet you have very good customers? So that's another problem that is a crisis when it comes to MSMEs and why they're having these challenges. The other one is about no wealth strategy. Running a business is not the same as building wealth. Those are two different things. So I see entrepreneurs who have been in business for over 10 years and have nothing to show for it in their personal net worth. Have you ever actually calculated your net worth? Actually, just think of it. Have you ever calculated your net worth? Or what is it even, right? So what most entrepreneurs are doing, or most business people, or even employees, is that they're on a treadmill. Just, the money comes in and it all goes because maybe they have lots of loans and they're busy moving, but they are not even advancing. They have no strategy at all on where they should be placing their money. Earning without an investment strategy is a trap, because when money comes in, maybe you're just helping out. You don't even know what percentage of your money is going where, right? And you may find that if you sat down and did your 3 months or the last 6 months calculation, you may see where your money is going, and you may even want to cancel some of those things. Some of the things that we are doing, for example, is subscriptions online. You may find that a lot of money is going there, and maybe you don't even use some of those places or some of those tools that you have subscribed to. You just need to unsubscribe, right? Some of it is, we are so easy to just give. Just have a percentage of your income that you're giving. You've heard of the 50-30-20 rule. If you, I'm sure you can Google that and find how does that work. Yes, it works for us middle class. It may not work for billionaires, but it works for the middle class. The 50-30-20 rule, where the 50 is actually your consumables. You just utilize, it's your needs. Your wants is 30, and your 20% is your investments. And you're always told to pay yourself first. So that means first pay the 20%, make sure you have your standing orders and money is going where you do invest. Then the rest, your 80%, you divide between 50 and 30, and you're able to, then you proceed onwards. Pay yourself first, otherwise you'll never be able to invest. Anyway, those are trainings that come with a lot of practicals. So yeah, let me leave it at that. The fourth one is about taxation and compliance. KRA is coming fully very fast for us, right? And nobody is left behind. You've had all the things that are happening on social media. So it's become, and also it's become pretty sophisticated. You've also seen these digital tax systems that have been put in place. So there's nowhere to hide. So it's important that we put our books in order, right? I've watched businesses pay penalties that wiped out full profit because they did not even stay compliant. It is not optional, so let's protect ourselves by getting the appropriate knowledge from, there are so many tax consultants, there are so many financial consultants. You can just get that knowledge and just get to know even how you can use an Excel sheet to put your books in order. Going forward, this 2026, going forward, as business owners or even employees, at least the employees are taken care of by the employer because the taxations are all taken care of. But if you have to manage your own taxations as a solopreneur or even self-employed, it's important you put all that in place. The other one is isolation and burnout. Entrepreneurship is the loneliest profession in the world, right? So don't feel like you're alone when you're doing what you're doing. It is lonely at the top because you are the driver, you are the vision bearer, right? You carry the weight for yourself, and if you have a team, you carry the weight of that team, and even expectations of your clients, your family dreams as well, your children, your spouse, right? And sometimes you feel overwhelmed and nobody is seeing it. Sometimes you're having a headache, sometimes your children are even attempting to speak with you, but your mind is so bogged down and carrying a lot of weight. So according to the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor, which is the GEM of 2024, research shows that 72% of entrepreneurs report chronic stress. And the solution for the stress is community support. I'm glad we have this community here, which is very, very supportive. And I think if you have friends who have not joined this community, please do invite them, right? So, and this is why now such a community, we also have, in my world, we have the G&E Business Club. These are not luxuries, these are survival tools. They are places where you have conversations with people. They are places where you can borrow ideas. There are places where you can partner with your fellow community members. Places where you can actually call up somebody and ask for support. Being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, or even if you're visionary and you're employed, sometimes you're employed, you're an employee, but you haven't outgrown the environment according to your mindset. You feel right now, maybe you're 45 years old, you're 50 years old, and the Gen Zs are all here, they're reporting to you, definitely, yes, that is not your kind of a community, that's your team. So your mindset has outgrown the place. So definitely you feel isolated and you feel at your level, you need a community. It's important, and I have seen a few of you who are already employed here, I know them, and they are in this community. It's because they want actually to be with the people whose mindset is actually grown to a certain level and to be able to share ideas. So yes, it's good. Scaling stagnation is another one. Most entrepreneurs are the business. So you're the business, and if you exited this world, the business dies that day, right? They are the product, they are the salesperson, the accountant, the cleaner, anybody and everybody is just that one individual. And the moment they stop working, the business stops, and that is not a business, it's a job you cannot quit, right? So scaling requires something, because sometimes you need to onboard 1 or 2 people, keep testing. Sometimes you start with temporary employees. You can get an admin, you can get a salesperson here and there, test until you get those that can support you, right? But most importantly, you need to build systems. What are these systems you're talking about? You can automate, by the way, today you can automate almost 90% of your business. And you can even work alone and even have the free time and even reduce the stress we were talking about, the burnout we were talking about. The AI tools are right here, right? And you can use them to, in a very, in a way that you can automate most of your business, and so that a lot can get out of your hand. Also, you can delegate if you have employees, and also for those you're delegating to, build leadership in them so that they're able to lead themselves, lead your organization, and so forth. I know for some of you who have attempted to do that, me included, we have actually employed a number of people, but majority want the money but not the work. It's happening even in the corporate world. They are suffering from that. You're employing people, but they just want to keep hiding, to keep twisting your mind, and so on. But there's that one in 100 that is diligent, is, just keep looking, keep testing. That's why I keep saying test with, temporary contracts, maybe a 1-week contract, a 1 month, 3 months contract, until you get that one person who can actually start supporting you. That is number one, so that you can delegate. And number 2, systems that you're building. Yeah, I talked about automation. And also, in all the people you're working with, please ensure that you give them a free hand to make some decisions, especially when they get, to be trustworthy. The third, the 7th item, and please, you can go ahead typing your questions in the comment section so that I can respond to them. 7th one is about the no exit planning. Less than 5% of entrepreneurs have a documented exit or succession plan. Many of them assume they will just figure it out later, right? But later comes very fast. Sometimes you can get ill, sometimes you can get disrupted, sometimes, so you need to think about exit planning. Is not just about you exiting the world. It's also about, if you are building this business for sale, at what point do you want to sell it? So it's good to think through it. You can actually Google it. You can actually go to ChatGPT and ask, how does a business exit plan look like? What are the options? You can even come up with a document. And if you have maybe somebody that you can, whom you're grooming to be the CEO or something like that, then you need to actually start working together very closely, and for them to know how the 10 years later looks like, so that they can take over. Yeah, some of us we delegate to our children because we are actually handholding them and making sure that they can take over, right? So if you're unprepared, so you leave the money and the legacy on the table, and there is no legacy at all. Yeah. So if I may ask a question, any questions so far? Maybe you can go ahead and type in the comment section. I can't see any, so we can go ahead. All right.
Let's just go ahead. They will
All
comment.
right. Okay, great. So now, so every one of these challenges start in the same place, and not in your bank account, and not in the market. It starts in your mindset, right? So let's look at some pointers around the 3 mindset shifts or some pillars that we are looking at. The first pillar is the wealth mindset shift. That the stage 1 is the survival mindset, and this is where most people begin and where too many stay. Working for money means your income stops the moment you stop, and decisions are driven by fear, and fear by losing a client, right? Fear of pricing too high, or fear of investing, or short-term thinking means you accept the first offer and you sacrifice quality for quick cash and never build anything that lasts. So if you have that survival mindset, and anybody that gives you the money, you're selling something, you discount yourself too low until you're hardly even breaking even. That's a survival mindset. I think it's important to actually state your money, because your clientele will come, and when the first one arrives and you give them good service, they will definitely refer you to another one. So let's not have a survival mindset as entrepreneurs. Let's grow a little bit and stick to what we believe our price is. Someone will say that I can get it cheaper somewhere else, and just tell them to go somewhere else. They will get it cheaper, but definitely they will get a shoddy job. You've seen even people who come, or rather who repair homes, right? Maybe you invite them to repair your house. Maybe it's a plumber. You say, this is too expensive. You get a cheaper one, and they go messing up. So let's not have that survival mindset. Let's just ensure that we deal with these issues about the price is too high very comfortably. In terms of you need to articulate your value very, in a good way, so that somebody understands what it is they're purchasing from you, what's the value, and the reason why your price is slightly higher than your competitors, even if the whatever you're selling is the same. The other one around this pillar is on mindset stages is a growth mindset. That is when your mindset shifts slightly and you begin to see some patterns. You start to begin systems instead of just doing tasks, right? You learn to calculate risks rather than avoid the risk, all right? And you understand failure is data. Let me tell you something. If you don't fail, that means you're not doing anything. That's number one. Failure is data, and it's data to help you modify something. If, let's say, you're selling something and the first 5 clients come and they have certain objections. It could be the prices, it could be the quality of whatever you're selling, it could be whatever. All this is data you need to put together and do some more research. How can I actually, number one, respond to these particular objections? Number two, what can I improve on my product or service so that I can ensure that somebody purchases? Yeah. So in this growth mindset stage, it's a transition for most entrepreneurs, and in most cases, it requires coaching. Yeah. So it's good to consult a coach or even read a book around, how to thrive in that business you're in, so that you can grow to the next level. And the other best stage is the legacy mindset, where you're seeing the destination. Where are you going between now and if you're 20 today, in the next 40 years, where do you want to be, right? Your money is working for you at this stage through investments and passive income. How do you get there, right? And your business can operate without you. You are building something that will outlast you, for your children, for your community, for your mission, and this is what is called entrepreneurship. So if you don't have a legacy mindset, you cannot call yourself an entrepreneur. Let's learn that today if you didn't know about it. Entrepreneurship, it's around legacy mindset, or an entrepreneur has a legacy mindset. So whatever they are building today, they are thinking about when 70 years old, when they are 80 years old, when they are 90 years old, what they'll have left behind. It's something good, something that can outlive them, the Bible talks about building a legacy for your children's children, yeah? Okay, so at the bottom, let's look at this particular statement. The reason why I have the Kingdom Entrepreneur is because we have our G&E sessions where we talk about, where we check the Bible and what it means about our entrepreneurship and whether we are aligned. So we call it a Kingdom Entrepreneurship. This doesn't just build a business, it builds a vehicle for generational impact and wealth. So every decision you make as an entrepreneur is either building you or that vehicle or dismantling the vehicle. So we are going to make sure today that we understand what that exactly means. Maybe a word for reflection for now on this particular slide. You may want to write down where you're writing your notes. At what stage are you in? Are you in survival mode? Are you in growth mode or on legacy mode? What's your mindset today? So let's move on to the next, but yes, keep going. So the other pillar, number 2, is staying consistent in a volatile economy. We are already in a volatile environment right now. The whole world is shaken. So how do we remain consistent? How do we shift our mindset? Right? So the first thing you do to remain consistent is just to embrace the right mindset. If it's a growth mindset or if it's a legacy mindset, whichever you choose, please shift that mindset. Because mindset without action is just motivation, right? So as soon as you shift your mindset, then the next step is to put action. Because that turns the shifting of mindset into a real results on consistency, yeah? Because consistency in a volatile economy requires a deliberate system. You'll get very disheartened. You sometimes see very negative stories online. Even your friends and family are talking about it, how this global war, I don't know whether it's third world war, will affect us. And sometimes you can get discouraged and sometimes feel like you want to give up. But my encouragement today is that please don't give up. So let's look at the 5 keys that are on the screen right now. The 90-day sprint is a stop trying to plan 12 months ahead in an environment that is changing quickly. So start just with maybe a quarterly plan, okay? If you cannot plan the whole of 2026, maybe the first quarter, which is ending this month, you can actually start, planning something for quarter 2 if you hadn't planned. Then set your vision and then break those 90 days maybe into some, let's say the quarterly plan that you have done, you can break it into months and months into weeks and weeks into days. And maybe every Friday or every end of the week, make sure that you transform your output by, reviewing what you're doing, what is not working, what is working, and so on. The second one is actually now track daily, and that's what I'm talking about, because revenue earned today is important, and ensure that now you check what value are you adding to your customers, what exactly is outstanding, and then review your expenses, your budgets, and so on, okay? Then the other one is mental fitness to help you remain consistent. It's when the world is actually shaken. It's about, this is the one of the most important things that business owners do neglect. And then they find it that, when it's too late, that they have actually forgotten themselves, yeah? Because we work and work and work and work, and sometimes you find that you find yourself even in hospital because you forgot to take care of your health, to take care of your mental fitness, even you forgot to rest, you forgot your spirituality, you forgot to do the things that ground you and ground your mind, right? So let's take a break once in a while and ensure that we remain strong and refuel ourselves. No vehicle can continue running forever and ever. Yeah. So as business owners, even if things are not working, even if you've not made money this month and maybe school fees is calling, please still take some rest. Sometimes when you're in that quiet moment is when things and ideas start cropping up in your mind and how you can resolve some of the things. But grinding and grinding and grinding without stopping, that definitely takes us into a mode where we even start panicking, which is not necessary, right? So let's just be systematic, have a plan, what you do on a Monday morning, what you do on a Monday afternoon, Tuesday, Friday, what do you do on a Sunday, and stick to that routine. And those routines also really help, and sometimes also take a break. That is why even employees or people who are employed do have off days, even take leave. Yeah, but as business owners, sometimes we grind too much. And also having an accountability circle like this particular one, right? It's so important, because sometimes your friend can also tell you, hey, Lucy, I think you're overworking. I see yourself, are you okay today? Because even that other person who is used to seeing you can also tell when you're overdoing things, when you're getting tired, when you're getting exhausted, and they can somehow alert you. And sometimes even when you cannot get through a thought, yeah, there's something lingering in your mind, and you're trying to think through it so that you can actually serve your customers better. Sometimes even sharing it with someone trustworthy in your community really does help, right? So this particular community is very good, and I think some of the things maybe you can add there is about accountability circle, people coming in together, check and challenging their thought processes. And and I want to believe that is why there are those meetings that you do have, physical and online meetings. These happen every Monday morning, which are very important. But yeah, let's get closer. Let's challenge one another. Let's even refer each other businesses. I don't know how many people know each other's businesses, but I want to believe that this forum has been there for a long time. So definitely people know each other, but just refer business for each other. Sometimes I also encourage people, you know more than 5 people in your circle, in this particular circle. Can they become your board advisory committee? That board advisory committee, and the 5 of you are board advisory committees for each other. And you don't even have to charge one another. That way you're actually helping each other grow, you're helping each other carry this burden, so that at least we don't break down, right? And then the last one is about quarterly pivots, because every quarter, once you review what you've been building, you may find that there are things that you need to tweak, right? And this definitely is very helpful. You have to be very agile, because if you stick to the things that were working maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, they may not work, right? So at the bottom of this particular slide, you can see that particular statement there, that clarity builds commitment, and commitment builds consistency, and that's how you get your compounding results. Yeah. Okay, so if you don't have a plan yet for anything, or for your business, or even for your personal life, I think this is a challenge for you to start actually putting together something in written, right? Okay, I don't want to read those comments. They are lovely comments. Thank you so much. They'll be read later. So let's now first look at how then do you build this a business that generates real wealth. We have this.
And I hope you are observing time. We are at 8:05.
Oh, really? Okay. So let's look at quickly those 4 tiers. The first one is services and consultancy. This is where you almost every entrepreneur starts. The second one is a product and intellectual property. This is where leverage begins, right? Like you write your books, online courses, and all that. Third one is where now you start investing and in real estate and whatever else, and then you start building your legacy. That is a pinnacle. So this is a formula for your revenue pyramid. Okay. I'm told time is not on my side, so I'll move slightly faster for now. But I want to emphasize on the formula at the bottom, which is consistent income plus smart investment plus passive revenue is where you get your financial freedom. Just take a screenshot of this particular slide because this is how you build yourself from the tier 1 where most of us entrepreneurs are stuck, so that now we can move forward. If you don't have a book yet, then you're not yet starting to move to the tier 2. And from the tier 3, you start now doing the proper investment that can give you passive income. And from there, you're free and going forward. So the economic landscape here, I will also spend another 1 minute, is about looking at your threats and opportunities and how to build your strategy around that. Your threats, for example, inflation in Kenya is about 5.8%. There's the rising cost of credit. There's also increased tax, and there's also digital disruptions and also youth unemployment. But we have opportunities that you can leverage on, which is like the has opened 1.4 billion consumer market funding, and then you have the digital banking and M-Pesa, you have the SME credit facilities, you have heard of Nyota and so on, and all the women fund and all that. And there's also growing middle class that is growing fast, and also remote work that you can do. So leverage on all that, use that to leverage on the AI, to join entrepreneurial networks that like this one and many more, so that you can grow. And then you can come up now there with your strategic plan, which is you establish your revenues in the first 3 years. You scale up between year 4 and 7, yeah, where you hire some leaders, you automate a lot of things. This is where I'm talking about the board. And then you build a sustainability around year 8 to 12. And then year 13 onwards, you can either exit, or you can go for an IPO, or you can now hand over to your legacy. So and from there, the exit tools are wills and estate plans, right? So you need to do all that through valuation, stakeholder or shareholder agreements, insurance, and succession planning. But that is something we can discuss in detail another day. And I talked about 50, 30, 20. These are some of the tools that you can use. You do your 20% savings, you use the 50, 30, 20 rule for you to be able to be more structured. And you ensure you have your 6 months emergency fund. Make sure you triple your income always. And in fact, in our forum, you also say triple your income every new year. At the beginning of the year, one of the plan we use when we are doing our financial planning is to triple what you did last year financially, even the number of followers online and everything. Just have a basic plan like that so that you can build on what you did last year. And of course, for those who tithe, there's a 10%. And of course, the compounding goal, you want to 100x everything. As you can see that example there, if you had 100K in 30 years, it can be 2.9 million. If you are investing for your child, you can do something like that. And this is the 90 days where you start. You start with your foundation, you complete your net worth statement, open dedicated investment accounts, set up your KPIs, dashboard, and so on. And then you build systems, month 2. We talked about that. And then now you're ready for growth. If you were in that growth mindset, you need to launch your passive income channels. You complete, okay, we are talking about Wealth Master Strategic Plan because that's a Wealth Master program that we offer. And then review investment and balances, and then present your 12-month wealth plan to yourself. So I know I have rushed for those 3 slides because time is not on our side. You can join us tomorrow evening for our, a free session where we'll be talking about Wealth Master, and that is a link that you can use there, amaracampus.com, 2026 Wealth Master 2. You can also get me at calendly.com, Lucy Munga, so we can have a one-on-one and we can have a conversation. Once you click on that, amaracampus.com, 2026 Wealth Master 2, you can also do your free wealth assessment. You answer those 35 questions and you'll get your free report. And you can call me and we have that conversation and see. That report actually guides you on what to do next. So I wish to thank you so much for listening. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful session. The questions will be responded to shortly. So go build, go invest, go leave a legacy, and the world is waiting for what you have to offer. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Lucy. Thank you. Yeah, and good to have you again, as bright as usual. Yes. There are a few questions just to mention also for the sake of our audience, welcoming you, and to know that these sessions are sponsored by Falcon Insights Global Consulting Limited. They also do business support. There is Live Your Dream that hosts this particular forum, and also there to help MSMEs, business owners. And of course, there is ICT Gurus that puts your business online. So if you want to be online, that's where you reach out to us. So the first question came from Wilfred. Wilfred asked, what tools or methods could you recommend for basic bookkeeping? Was that the first question really? No, the first question, yeah, from the very same Wilfred was, what is your advice on the best sources of additional finance for technology entrepreneurs, given that most have no traditional collateral to offer? Yes.
Wow. I can answer one at a time.
Yes, you can answer one at a time. I hope it will be quick enough because we have 3 minutes.
Okay. Okay, what is your advice on the best sources of additional finance for tech entrepreneurs? I was in tech for a long time until I was converted by the business people, and I do understand what the tech is talking about here. First of all, when you're as a tech entrepreneur, you don't even need any financing to start a business. You can start with, because technology, there are many areas. But once there are many, if you have already grown and now you're in growth stage and you need financing, definitely there are some venture capitals companies, and also there are some angel investors you can get. You can also get your friends to invest in your business. But if you don't have proper books of accounts, definitely you may have a problem there, because when someone is coming to invest, they want to understand the value of your money, what's the value of your organization. So clearly, there's a lot that perhaps we need to discuss here, because yes, finances are there, and I talked about even the money that is coming in from AFTA and also the other World Bank report of 2024. There is money there, but you need to package yourself appropriately to be able to win or to be approved to get that money. That's a quick response.
Yeah, thank you. I think for the sake of time, people can stay behind and ask further questions. At this moment, I'd like to just invite Noel so that we move to the next level. And I want to thank you for being there. Yes, Noel. For people asking, my name is Otieno Paul Peter, your host.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Otieno Paul Peter. That was an enlightening conversation there. Thank you so much, Lucy. And I call upon Odhiambo Olale, who is going to give us the vote of thanks.
Good morning. Sorry for the interruption. I've got a grandson who is visiting me here and is very busy. Yeah, so on behalf of the team, may I thank you so much, Madam Lucy Munga, CEO, Amara. Sorry, that's a young man playing.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful presentation. And my take home on behalf of the team, I think, is that you must be agile. What worked 5 years ago is not what is working today. You must be alert. And I think we have given us so many lessons to learn. I was even sharing with my wife, who was also eavesdropping here, that I wish I'd listened to you 10, 20 years ago. But all the same, knowledge is powerful. Learning never ends. So for those who still need more, like me, I'll tune in tomorrow to listen to you. But keep up the good work. I have always believed that our minds are like an umbrella. We must keep them open, not closed. If they are closed, they are of no use. Thank you so much once again. And on behalf of the team, we say thank you again. And we look forward to more sessions with you. Thank you, Lucy Munga. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Odhiambo Olale. And also on behalf of our Monday, we want to thank Falcon, who are our sponsors for these sessions. Thank you so much. Antonia Mutunga, on to administration. As I know Antonia is here, and as she is